Before I go on, somebody in here is wearing my ex-girlfriend's perfume. I need you to identify yourself and get the fuck out of here. But you know what? I love coming here. I play some acoustic gigs here every now and then, but I'm not going to lie. Like every time I come here, I look at the door and I wait for a camera crew and John Taffer from Bar Rescue to walk in here and just turn the joint over. Sorry, Brian. But you know what? They do have really good food here, and it is a comedy show, so don't throw any tomatoes at us. Throw pierogies, please. Yeah. And, you know how it is. How you doing? Welcome.
Hi, sorry.
The more you drink, the funnier we are, by the way, too. So, thank you for being here on a Tuesday. It's a school night. Give yourselves a big hand. Tuesday is the new Wednesday. There's nothing worse than a Sunday, though. We've all heard it. That Sunday night when you hear that 60 minutes clicker, you know your weekend is over. That's the most depressing sound on a weekend. Funny thing happened on the way here. I stopped at the Jewels, went to the Jewel earlier, and it always cracks me up watching people in front of you in the checkout lane, how they grab that divider. You know, I've got a few items, and this girl in front of me, she's just like, oh, puts her thing on. It's like, don't worry, Karen, I don't want to pay for your tampons. And then, you know, we all work for the grocery store anyway, so you go to the automatic checkout thing, and every now and then you get a machine that's pretty quiet. And then you get a machine that's pretty loud. It's like, please put your avocados in the bag. Imagine having like an embarrassing moment. It's like, please put your hemorrhoids cream in the bag. But anyway, I play music full time, and it's going so well. I'm up here doing this shit now. Yeah, it's great.
Don't quit.
But I do some acting as well. And remember the movie that came out a few years ago, Killers of the Flower Moon? I was not in that one. But Lily Gladstone, remember Lily Gladstone? She was Oscar nominated for that movie. The movie she did before that is called The Unknown Country, and I'm in that movie with her. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Lily was great, you know. I mean, I don't have a joke. I'm just here to remind each and every one of you how much fucking cooler I am than you. That I was in a movie with an Oscar-nominated actress. But I do play acoustic gigs, as I mentioned. Every now and then I like to play for the elderly at these retirement and assisted living facilities. And, you know, I love it because the elderly, they're the forgotten generation, right? You know, everybody forgets about the elderly. We owe them so much more. So I play a lot of older songs, and I love going into these facilities to play these songs. Because it's like, you know, I'll play Hank Williams, you know, Hey Good Looking. And it's great to see the older folks. They're like, oh my God, I haven't heard this in 40 years. They say it a lot slower than that. But, you know, and everything was going along great until I decided to play Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door. I started to lose the room a little bit. And then in a panic, like a rookie move, I'm just like, I'm going to play a Roy Orbison song, Only the Lonely. And they're just like walking, they can't really turn their necks, you know, so they're like trying to look at each other. They're just like, what is this thing doing? My folks live in the South Burbs, and they're old, right? They go to bed super early. So the only way I could see my folks is to spend the night. So I did a gig there a few weeks back. They're down in Frankfurt. You know where Frankfurt is? It's out by Iowa. And so, but they go to bed, you know, the gig's late, right? So they go to bed so early, it's like I have to like sneak into the house. Like, you don't want to wake up the dog. I don't want to wake up my mom. She's going to wake up in her robe and she's going to start lecturing me. And like, what are you doing coming home so late? What are you doing about your life? What are you doing about your benefits? It's like, Mom, I have friends with benefits. Go back to sleep. I have not snuck back into my parents' house since high school when I would come home from my girlfriend's house. Except this time I didn't have to drive with my hand out the window.
Gross.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. It's not for everyone. And so there's really no other way to ask this question safely, so I'm just going to ask it. Do we have any Puerto Ricans in the room? All right. We were going to hear you no matter what, I'm sure. Well, I just spent the last 7 years living in Humboldt Park. I loved it, right? I love the food, the culture, every day was Puerto Rican pride in Humboldt Park. So I'm thinking, you know what? I want to embrace the culture. I wanted to take in more of the culture. I'm Irish. I know everything about annoying celebrations, right? We dye our river green. What do you guys do? You take over neighborhoods, you know? So I'm like, you know what? I want to embrace the culture. So I thought I would take in and check out some Puerto Rican porn. And it was so disappointing. It was just video after video after video of the women screaming at their men instead of fucking them. But recently I moved out of Humboldt. I bought a house and happy with it. It was a nice thing to do, nice upgrade. But the mortgage process, if anybody that's gone through it, they do your pre-approval, right? They're like, oh, here you go. Here's what you can afford. And then every day since they prove how you can't pay for it. And what was very interesting is the lender tells me, he's like, the underwriters. Are there any underwriters in here tonight? Good. Because you will get your ass kicked if you were. So speak up. He's like, the underwriters consider you a risky borrower. I'm like, a risky borrower? Why? Well, because you're a musician. You're risky. And I'm just like, boy, it's a good thing I didn't tell them I do comedy, because they're thinking like, well, this guy is a fucking comedian if he thinks he can afford this house. So, and then people are always telling you like, oh man, good luck at the closing. People are so dramatic. One person was like, good luck at the closing. I'm like, why are you so excited? Another guy's like, hey, good luck at the closing. Like, what's going on at these closings that you have? Like, I get it now, because if you run into these underwriters, a fucking war is going to break out. And you don't want that. But yeah, so I travel a lot, right? And we're right next to Midway, so I'm going to enjoy these. I love traveling. I travel full time with my band and fly most of the time. But every now and then we like to do it old school. We like to do road trips and stuff. And it's fun to just pile the dudes into the van and you just like, drudge it out on the road. And recently we were playing some shows out in Arizona. And I was driving through Amarillo and I had a little car trouble. And I blew an engine. It took a week to get the taste of oil out of my mouth. Anybody else get pissed off when you see kids in first class? Or kids in general, Katie? Yeah. Anybody get mad when you see kids? No? You're boarding the plane and you're just seeing it. I'm like, man, what a waste. You see a kid sitting in first class. I'm like, there is no way that kid is going to take advantage of unlimited booze and hit on the flight attendant the way that I would. It's like, what's his move? He can't even reach his call button. Like, Mommy, can I get a glass of milk, please? But we get a lot of, you're traveling somewhere, like United, for instance. I fly United a lot. They send you these pre-flight checklist emails, right? Like, oh, make sure you wear comfortable shoes. Make sure you charge your devices. Make sure you get to the airport early. Hey, asshole, do you know what gate you're going to be going to? All these things. And it's like, traveling is stressful. I wish that they would send an email and remind me to jerk off before I went to the airport. That way you show up to the gate area, you're relaxed, you're calm, you're going through TSA, and the guy goes, hey, buddy, remove any fluids from your carry-ons. I could be like, don't worry, buddy, I already took care of that. I fucking hate escape rooms. Anybody else? Yeah, I got these friends who are either like, come on, let's go do an escape room. I'm like, we're in our 40s. What do you want to go to an escape room for? Like I tried an escape room once and it took me 10 years to get out of it. It was called marriage. I am celebrating 5 years being divorced. Thank you. Anybody else in here divorced? The rest of you? You'll get there. I was married for 10, so I'm halfway there. And people would always say, like, oh, when you're dating in your mid-40s, man, like, it's a chore. It's like, yeah, like, the last piece of ass I got was when my finger broke through the toilet paper last week. Dating sucks in your 40s because it's like I just kept over and over and over falling for their period schemes. It's really frustrating. But when you're married to somebody throughout the course of a decade and they ask you several times, do you think I'm bipolar? And I go, do I think you're bipolar? I know you're bipolar. And then she'd ask me, she goes, do you think I'm borderline person? I'm like, you're not borderline anything. You are all the way. You bypass customs and TSA. There's nothing borderline about you. And I did that joke at a mic a few weeks ago, and this guy stopped me afterwards, and he goes, I didn't like that bipolar joke. And I waited. A few minutes later, he was fine. Any other cat people in here? Yeah, well, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna get high. My cat loves when I get high. I come in the kitchen, I sit down, I unravel whatever the hell I'm going to enjoy, and my cat just comes high-stepping into the kitchen because he knows two things are going to happen when I get high. One, he's going to get a lot of treats. And two, he's going to get a finger in his ass. Thank you. Good night.
Give it up for Dan McGinnis one more time. And hopefully he doesn't go home and finger his cat. Everybody start clapping for the next comic coming up. It's Mr. Tim Watson! Hell yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll do my 5 minutes and then go home and have my milk and oatmeal cookies, 9 o'clock, right? I transitioned a few years ago into being a senior citizen. I did have a name change. I officially became known as an old fart. I'm having trouble sleeping. Anyone suffer from insomnia? Oh man, I don't want to take pills or Ambien or anything like that. I do it the old-fashioned way. I count sheep. The other night I counted over 700 sheep. And I was dozing, and as I was dozing, I kept hearing this voice over and over in my head. Get the flock out of here. Get the flock out of here. Which flock? Now I got dozens of flocks. Where am I going to find a shepherd at 3 a.m.? So I popped 2 Ambiens, crashed out, got into a deep sleep, and had this really intense dream that I was a shepherd with a flock walking down the middle of Archer Avenue naked. That's a visual that's, well, it was a dream, okay? It was a dream, so you don't have to worry about that. I went to the Panda Express in Chinatown. That was a joke. There was no Panda Express in Chinatown. That would be cultural appropriation. That would be like Olive Garden locating in Little Italy. Forget about it. Next to Mama Luigi's, forget about it. That'd be like Taco Bell having a 3-piece mariachi band. Adios mio. Forget about it. Oh man. Yeah, I know you're from Brighton Park. Anyone from Brighton Park? Yeah, I moved in there over 40 years ago, and it was mostly Polish. Now it's mostly Mexican. And I've seen all the changes from like pierogies to tacos. And from like Polish sausage, which is kielbasa, to chorizo, que pasa. And it went from vodka to tequila. Yeah, Dan Julio and my best buddy now, Oh man, this is fun. I take 1 Prevagen a day for memory, Whenever I smoke weed, I take 2. I want to remember where I keep the stash, Oh man. When you get older, the physical stuff. I was over getting a prostate exam done over in the locker room at Planet Fitness. I don't think this guy was even a doctor. But he was driving a Mercedes. He seemed legit. And I asked him if there was a copay. He said, no, it's pay to play. Oh, man. This is fun. Hey, I did comedy in New York. Give it up for that. Well, it was Buffalo, New York, and it was at a dive bar. Florida. You know how they say in Buffalo's like 5 hours from New York City. You know how they say in New York City, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere? This is a slogan for Buffalo. You're screwed. In Buffalo, they had 6 feet of snow. No one was going anywhere. President McKinley was assassinated in Buffalo. He couldn't make it there. O.J. Simpson was a star football player from Buffalo. He couldn't even murder there. He had to go to California for that, Oh, man. I'll tell you something. I'm pretty damn old, but I've been searching for the G-spot for decades. You know what I found out? G stands for Greek mythology. It's imaginary. Oh, man. Just rolling along. Give it up for yourself for being out on a Tuesday night. Live comedy, live entertainment, huh? Yeah. There was a cell phone store that was robbed in Joliet. Now, the thieves didn't get any money or phones, but they did rob the network of 5G. Not 3G or 4G. 5, crime does pay, Kept up with inflation. And on the same block, the dollar store was robbed, but the security guard, he passed the buck, Okay, on the corner, the bank was robbed. That was the story with the highest interest. Oh, there's more. There was one there was a Dairy Queen across the street. Because I'm milking this joke to death, okay? Guys, enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks for coming out.
Give it up for Tim Watson one more time. Hey, Tim. The G-spot is by the girl's belly button, but you gotta scratch it from the inside. You guys ready for your next comedian? Everybody start clapping for Amber Watson! Woo, 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 woo.
I had to bring my purse up here. So we are on the south side. I don't trust you. Okay, I grew up on the south side. I ain't gonna hate on the south side. I'm from Inglewood. Anybody from Inglewood? That's fair. Don't worry, I left my gun at home. It's okay. It's like I don't want to offend you nice people. Even though all y'all got one, I'm sure. I'm on the south side. It's okay. My name is Amber. No hard R. I don't imagine that would be a problem for anybody in here. Yes, I used to go by Amber, but after Amber Rose got that stupid ass forehead tattoo and Amber Heard shit in Johnny Depp's bed, I was like, I no longer identify as these stupid bitches. So I had to go through a rebrand. I love that this is a Polish bar, I dated a Polish guy. I was living in Wisconsin. I dated a Polish guy. It gave me a newfound appreciation for kielbasa sausage. I'll tell you that, I was like, there's always stereotypes about, like, white guys having small dicks. The Eastern Europeans have hogs. That's what I've learned, His was also a little spicy, so that was not fun. He gave me gonorrhea, so that was terrible. Make some noise if you ever had the clap. Just me, that's fine. That's your people. Don't be fucking looking at me like that. I didn't ask for that shit, My ex, he wanted to be polyamorous. That's how we ended up with it, I hate polyamory because guys, modern guys, they want to be polyamorous. They have 1950s values with 2026 budgets, okay? I'm like, you want 2 pussies, you can't even buy me dinner. Like, what are we talking about here, We took this young lady out on a date. We ended up splitting 2 for $20 at Applebee's 3 ways. I looked across the table at her like, bitch, we can do better, okay? So he was not happy about that. But it was fun. It was fun, Polyamorous relationships are all the same, but they all end the same way. In chlamydia. So, I would say if you got somebody you love, keep them to yourselves. But I'm trying to, get into dating. I'm dating a much older man right now. It's a 16-year age. God, thank you, If your father's available, please send them my way, I'm having a lot of fun spending y'all's inheritance. It's been great, He's a white gentleman. We spent the weekend in Valparaiso, Indiana, at a nudist resort. And a nudist resort in Indiana is exactly how you picture it, okay? It's like, I love going to Indiana. Whenever I feel like a little bad about my body or a little stupid, I'm like, let me just make a trip across the border. It's like the quickest way to lift your self-esteem. So I neglected to bring bug spray to this little nudist excursion. Yeah, I didn't know. And then I woke up the next day and I was covered in like these little red bites, right? So I'm walking to the pool, I'm naked, and somebody shouts out, "Looks like the chiggers are out." And I was like, "What the fuck did you just call me?" And that's when I realized that chiggers are tiny mite larvae that bite you all over your body. So I thought I was going to own a nudist resort, but, you know, there was no spontaneous racism. So, you know, that was fun. I got into the nudist scene when I was living in Southern California. Yes. Somebody told me the best way to get over your stage fright was to picture the audience naked. But I'm a little dyslexic, so I ended up with my titties out instead, you know what I'm saying? But nobody complained. It was fine. I picked up a lot of bad habits when I was living in California. I got into the nudist scene in California. We talked about that. I also got into the BDSM scene when I was living in Southern California. It was the cheapest way to afford to own slaves in this economy, you know? Don't shake your head at that. Like, who doesn't want to own slaves, you know? They might be coming back. But it won't be based in race. It will be based, AI will enslave us all. So, you know, that's the quickest way to equality is the internet, I feel like, at this point. I also, the last bad habit I picked up, I started sleeping with white women when I moved to Southern California. Yes, give it up for white women. I love white women. I sleep with white women, and now I identify as a black man from Logan Square. So... yes, it's okay. I did some recognizance work. I needed to figure out why all my black boyfriends were leaving me for white women. I was like, what are these bitches doing that I'm not doing? You know what I'm saying? And then I realized that white women are freaks. So that was fun. The first time I slept with this woman, I was on my period, right? And she said, "I don't care about that. I don't mind a little ketchup on my taco." I know, I made that face. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're disgusting. Ketchup and tacos don't even go together. Like, what are we talking about here? You are a white woman. And I know I'm not eating dinner at your house, so. But I will say she enjoyed her lunch. She came back for seconds and thirds, and then she stole my boyfriend. So I think we're pretty even. It's okay. He didn't have a job. We talked about that. So, you know, it was all right. And, you know, I'm trying my best to date, but it's exhausting. I don't know. I'm like in my mid-30s. Like, my pussy has a nighttime routine. It's like, we're not doing this, you know. I realize I'm probably never going to be in another relationship with a straight man because I'm very lazy in bed nowadays, right? I have 2 signature positions when it comes to sex. I have the starfish, right? And then if I really like you, I'll hit you with a reverse starfish. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I call that one the spicy calamari, if anybody's interested. It's not spicy for the reason I told you about earlier. It's a difference. Yeah, I call it the spicy calamari. It's actually on the menu here at Karolinka's tonight on special. It comes with 2 dipping sauces, either cocktail or tartar, depending on the time of the month. You know what I'm saying? Don't make that face. You know you had sex with on your period before. If you never had sex on your period, you've never been in love before. Shit, we all grown here. Sometimes you gotta get it how you live. Rent needs to be paid, okay? It's for the end of the month. What are we talking about? That's okay. That's gonna be my last condiment-based joke about my vagina. I promise. Yes. In addition to doing comedy, I also host trivia, so that's fun. And my favorite thing about hosting trivia is asking white people really obscure Black history questions, you know? That's the way I get my reparations. Like, who sat next to Rosa Parks on the bus, huh? Nobody ever knows the answer. It's great. The answer is all of us, you know? It's simple. But one of my favorite little known Black history facts is that Martin Luther King was a notorious fuckboy. I don't know if you all knew this. Yes, Martin Luther King slang that thing from Selma to Birmingham, for sure, you know. He put the D in community, you know what I'm saying? But I imagine that, like, Martin Luther King wouldn't be able to get away with his infidelities in 2026, because Black TikTok would have definitely blew up his spot, you know what I'm saying? It was like, imagine we're all sitting here in Karolinka's, the back door opens, the DJ gets over the loudspeaker like, look who just walked in the building. Give it up for my nigga and yours, MLK. Everybody's embarrassed. Your homegirl, she runs up to you. She's white, by the way. She's like, oh my God, sis. You see that guy in the back of the bar, skinny tie, hairline pushed back? He asked me about my dreams, bitch. And I'm like, bitch, that's Martin Luther King. Don't talk to him. He will give you the clap. Like, what are we talking about? I love that. I'm sure Coretta Scott King will have more followers than Beyonce in 2026. So you don't really you don't want that smoke. The Beehive is bad, but I think the civil rights movement is worse. Like, you know. I love, Martin Luther King came to Chicago, you know, during his heyday. And I think a lot about, like, desegregation. They tried to, like, gentrify my old neighborhood in Inglewood. I don't know if you remember this. A few years ago, they opened a Whole Foods in Inglewood. It was like they opened the Whole Foods. There was also a Chipotle, and there was, what else was next to that? Like a Starbucks, I think, all on the same block. Everybody got robbed. Yes. And then there was a white woman walking a Frenchie. I was like, the Frenchie got stolen. So, you know, that was fun. Their solution to curbing the crime spree was to close all the businesses by 4 p.m. I was very proud that Inglewood became the first all-black sundown town in the 21st century. You know, I love keeping white people out of our neighborhoods. It's just wonderful. I actually just moved to the west side of Chicago. Any West Siders in the building? Okay, we got some West Siders. I love the West Side. I opened a comedy club on the west side of Chicago. I tell all of the tourists that it is in West Loop. You know what I'm saying? But if you're from the city, it's in East Garfield Park. So very, very different neighborhood. But I tell white people whenever they come to the club, like, you don't have to be scared of coming to East Garfield Park. All of our crackheads are white, so the property value is skyrocketing, you know. My landlord just told me that he's raising my rent by $250. And I'm like, can we fuck? I think that my pussy might be worth $250 a month. He said no, so, you know. Can we fuck? I need $250 to pay my rent, you know, we'll see. I can't be a prostitute. I'm a terrible prostitute. Like I said, I'm lazy in bed. I'm a professional cuddler, so that's been fun. Yeah, and everybody always accuses me of, like, engaging in sex work. And I was like, this is not pussy that you pay for, okay? You're going to be asking for your money back when I roll over and start snoring on your ass. Like, what are we talking about here? But being a professional cuddler is fun. Like, my clients are mostly older white gentlemen and Indian engineering students from the University of Chicago. That's my demographic. I can't for the life of me understand why they like me. But, you know, I tell everybody, you know, they always proposition you for sex. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. Because pussy costs more than $100 an hour. You know what I'm saying? But if you throw in a 7-day MetroCard, you might have yourself a deal, because a bitch needs to get back to Canal Street before the end of the night. So I'm going to leave it at that. I have a show on Saturday at the Karolinka Comedy Play Space. It's called Discipline Delivery Comedy After Dark. It is a BDSM themed show. So if you want to, like, you know, live your fantasies, you can check us out at thecribcomedy.com. And thank you for your time. I'm Amber Walker.
Give it up for Amber one more time. And she is right. She'll beat your ass while you tell the comedy. You ready for the next joke? Woo. You ready for the next comic?
Yeah.
Everybody start clapping for John Hancock! Woo!
Holy shit. Big John. Hey, nice ones for Karolinkas, everybody. Yeah. This place, we gotta cherish these places while they're still allowed to exist. You know, I can feel the cord cutting out. All right, don't tell me what to do, Cricket. All right, Cricket is too small to tell me what to do. That's true. You got to be like at least 5'5". You know. All right, 5'5". All right.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Now we're talking. I know that, like, the only thing missing in this place is the smell of cigarettes. You know, I know you're not allowed to smoke. I wonder, can you get like a cigarette smell, like incense? Just you know what I mean? You know, just to really, that would be cool, I think. I don't know. I feel like historical places you should be allowed to smoke in. You know, it's like, you know, should be like a special permit for that. I don't know. America, 250 years old, right? 250 years. Yeah. What do you think? So far, so good, or did you guys make any changes? Or? I don't know. I don't know. I'm old school. I think America's the best country in the world. So I've never been anywhere else. So I assume, you know. I don't know. If someone grew up in another country, I would never argue with that person if they thought their country was, you know, the best country. But I don't like it though when like born Americans, especially like wealthy ones, will they'll say this shit. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. They're like, oh, if you think America's the best country in the world, then you've never really traveled. It's like, yeah, of course every country is great when you're on vacation. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, oh you think that's a dangerous country? Well, this country actually has room service. You know that place that just had a revolution? Well, they have a swimming pool. Turns out. I don't know. I lived in Chicago for 4 years now. Grew up in Tennessee. You know, I can tell I'm becoming like a real Chicagoan because me and my lady were out at a restaurant, a nice Italian restaurant, and we were on the patio, and a rat went by, and like it didn't even faze me whatsoever. And all these like tourists were like freaking out, like, "Oh my god, a rat!" And I was just like, "Yeah, it's the city. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, I'm becoming a real Chicagoan, man." But I've only lived here 4 years, so I don't get to like brag about like, you know, how Chicago I am really, because you know, I've only been here 4 years. But I do get to do that about Tennessee, right? Because I grew up in Tennessee, but I am the most Tennessee motherfucker that you may come across. Not only am I from Tennessee, I grew up in a log cabin that was built before the Civil War, and we had squirrels living in the walls, you know. And I always wanted to have inside. What is this guy doing? You raising your hand? You got a question or something? What is, okay, all right. Oh, he's saying bye to them. Okay, all right. That was very distracting. It's just like a guy going like this. It's very distracting. That's got to be top 10 least favorite ways that I've ever seen someone say bye. Though I gotta be honest. You know what I mean? He's like doing like that. You know, you can just do that's a better one. You know. So I don't know. Maybe work on that. But we do what? I'll work on it. Yeah. Or even just kind of a, you know, I don't know. But yeah, we had squirt. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one. It looks less like a question. But yeah, I always wanted to have a inside cat growing up. I was been a big animal person, you know, and my parents would not allow me to have an inside cat. Wow. Meanwhile, we got, you know, squirrels living in the walls, you know, thousands of spiders. I'm pretty sure if I asked them for a pet spider, they'd be like, no. We can't. You can't have a spider in a cage. Only the ones that scare you in your sleep. You know, that's the only ones you're allowed to have. When I was growing up, we only went on 2 different vacations when I was a kid. We either went to Panama City Beach, Florida. You ever heard of that place? Yeah. They call it the Redneck Riviera for a reason. Or our other vacation was we would go further east in Tennessee and we would stay in a log cabin in the woods. Like the vacation was just like trying to find a new light switch, you know, pretty much. That's all it was. I don't know. I had a lot of different jobs. You know, one of my first jobs used to be a security guard. Not a great job. People still try to hire me for that job. I'm like, no, I don't do that anymore, you know? But I like that job exists, though, because, you know, I think I'll never be homeless, right? Because the worst case scenario, someone will pay me to stand in front of a building, you know? It's like, the worst that my life could get would be telling someone at their worst they have to get the fuck away from this business. You know what I mean? You can't do your rock bottom around my rock bottom. You know, it's kind of loud. I don't know. That's one nice thing about being 6'8". I'm curious how tall I got a 10-year-old son who just turned 10 recently, and I'm curious how tall he's gonna be. You know. It's great. Anyone else have kids? Anyone have kids? You got kids? Yeah, 10's a fun age. Like he just started being funny on purpose, you know. which is cool, right? Instead of by accident. Like, remember when he was 5? One time, I took him to the park, and he's a real social kid. He's playing with these other kids, you know, and I'm just kind of chilling on a bench, and he comes running up to me all of a sudden, pointing at these kids across the way, and he goes, "He just said the S word." I'm like, "All right, buddy, what's the S word?" And then he looks at me and goes, "Motherfucker." I was like, "All right. I don't think that's the S word, but that kid is cooler than you are. I know that." His parents do drugs, for sure. My dad was also tall. My dad's 6'8", you know, both the exact same height. So I think it's good, right? Like, what if I was raised by a 5'2" dad? You know, like, what kind of person would I be today if I had a 5'2" dad? You know, imagine my 5'2" dad just being like, you know, what if my dad looked like Cricket? You know, it's like a little tiny man trying to tell me what to do. You know, right? Imagine my Cricket-sized dad being like, "Hey son, you forgot to take the trash out." You know, like he's like, "No, Dad, you forgot to take the trash out." You know, I don't think you should be able to win every argument with your dad by putting the TV remote on top of the fridge. You know, that doesn't seem healthy. I don't know. My dad talked me into playing basketball as a kid. You know, which I didn't, believe it or not, I didn't really care about playing basketball. You know, look, basketball is like the only sport I feel like where you just get forced to play it because of how your body is, whether you like it or not. You know, especially wheelchair basketball. That one I think maybe the most probably. But the way he talked me into it was like, look, you're going to be tall your whole life, and everyone's going to ask you if you play basketball or not. What do you want the answer to be? Right? Not like it's fun. You should do it, you know. So I spent 14 years of my life learning a very specific skill just to avoid small talk at the grocery store. You know, and you know, one day I was like, maybe I'll just say no and see what happens. And I did, and nothing happened. No one gave a fuck. No one cared whatsoever. So that was a waste of my time. My dad, very eccentric guy. My dad had a fully automatic Uzi when I was a kid, like a real machine gun, you know, full auto Uzi. So I shot a machine gun for the first time when I was 4 years old. But my parents didn't let me watch The Simpsons until I was 13. It's like I felt like I was raised like I remember the Taliban, basically. You know. I assume that's how they do it over there. I don't know. Is that how they do it? I don't know. Yeah, I'm a big gun nut because of that. You know, grew up in Tennessee, obviously. Like, I'm such a gun nut, I keep a pillow under my gun. You know what I mean? Gotta treat them nice, you know. I don't know. I hate, you know, especially living up here, like, Chicago's a lot more liberal than, like, where I come from. You know, I mean, Nashville is too, I guess. If people, like, assume I'm this, like, traditional conservative type of guy, because, you know, I drive a big truck, and they know I'm into guns and everything. You know, but it's not true. I got opinions like all over the place, you know. And it's also like, you know, I don't really fit in liberal cars. You know, I can only drive like racist vehicles. You know, the more racist the car looks, the more headroom they have. Right? That's one thing I learned, you know. It just, look, I'm not racist, but it's just a coincidence that we agree on liking a little extra space, you know. Also, like, I don't know, I don't really like politics very much, you know, which I know everyone says that and they don't mean it usually, right? But I'm going to try to prove it to you, okay? So, I grew up around guns on a level that, like, I don't even have time to explain, you know? Like, rappers are aware of certain guns because of me, which sounds like a lie, and it's not. And that's the I don't have time to explain part. And I don't even give a fuck about the political issue of gun control, right? Because I really don't care what we do, right? Either way, all right? Let me play it out for you, okay? So let's say we don't ban any guns in America. Fine, I get to keep doing my hobby, sure. Now let's say on the flip side, let's say we ban every gun in America. Even better, I get to finally use them for the whole reason I bought them. You think I like playing pretend in the woods? No, I want to murder the entire government, you know? I want to be like a real man one day, you know? probably thinking, like, what are you waiting for? Well, I can't go do it by myself. You know, they don't have like a real David Koresh kind of situation, you know, going on. I gotta wait for other people to be angry at the same time. You know? If you don't know what David Koresh is, there's a little thing that happened in Waco, Texas, a while back, where this like heavily armed cult that went by this weird name of the FBI. They burned a church to the ground. You know, do you guys remember that? All right. All right, let's do like a really dumb dick joke and then I'll get out of here. How's that? I almost had I thought I had an STD one time. Anyone else ever had an STD scare before? Yeah, so my mom is a nurse. She's a nurse, right? And but I couldn't just like straight up ask her about it. That's too embarrassing, right? It's my mom, you know. So what I did, I went up to my mom and I told her that I've been writing this joke where I want to describe someone having an STD, but I want to make sure I can like do it authentically so it sounds legit. Pretty good idea, though. All right, so this guy in my joke, he's got these tiny red bumps on the head of his dick. Does that sound like an STD? And she goes, no, that sounds like a guy who should wash his dick more. I was like, all right, I'll do that. It's a very uncircumcised penis kind of problem to have. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. You got to wash it real good, you know. I remember this one time I was taking a shower, butt ass naked, as you do, you know. And I got out of the shower to get a beer, right? Because I'm a real fucking American, you know. First thing I think of, beer, when I get out of the shower. So I go to my kitchen to get a beer, still butt ass naked, right? But I had pulled my foreskin back to let it air out under there to avoid this little tiny bump situation I was talking about. You know, gotta let it breathe a little bit, get some air, you know. Gotta air it out some. And so I'm butt ass naked, bare dicked, and I'm going into my kitchen to get a beer. And I noticed that the blinds were open in my kitchen window, so like fucking neighbors could like see in or whatever. And I was like, oh shit! And I put my foreskin back down. I was like, you know, apparently I was okay with being naked, just like not my dick, you know. All right, there you go. Thank you guys.
Give it up for John one more time. He's tough as fuck. I thought he was gonna be like, hey mom, does this look infected? All right, you guys ready for your last comic? Well, this one, he's a good friend of mine. He got a movie coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Everybody start clapping for my homie, Cricket! Run, Cricket, run! Run, Cricket, run! Good evening. How you guys doing tonight? Give yourself a round of applause because you deserve it. Brian, thank you for having us. All these beautiful people, beautiful. You guys came in from the church, right? And they're talking about penises and pussy and shit. You guys are going to find a whole new church now. My beautiful wife, Michelle. She's the alpha in the relationship. I never talk back to my wife. Today I was getting ready for the show, and my wife says, babe, are you okay? I said, why? She said, you stopped breathing in your sleep last night. I said, for real? She said, 40 seconds. Bitch, wake me up! What the fuck, man? Fucking bitch. I saw you. I woke up. You were eating popcorn and shit. I love you, due respect. But, are you guys TikTokers, Instagrams? Where's my Instagrammers? Yeah, I'm new to Instagram and I fucked up, man. My wife was laying down and I was trying to do it nice. So I was scrolling, liking, and then a girl came down with a fat ass in a bikini. And I liked it. And then her face came down and she had Down syndrome. Now my algorithm, they got all kinds of girls asking me, Cricket, you want to get together? I was like, you're down, I'm down, you know? Yeah. You know, I'm 59 years old. I went to the doctor and they took my blood for my blood work like we do, right? And Chris, you have to come back next week to read your results. So I'm in the room and the doctor walks in. Mr. Sandoval, yeah, you have to stop masturbating. I said, why? He says, it's distracting me and I'm trying to read your fucking notes. You know who's not feeling good? Is my mechanic. We got any mechanics? My mechanic was working underneath the car, underneath the fan, and the fan flew off. And it cut his fucking eyelid right off. 5-hour surgery. They took a little bit of his foreskin and they made him a new eyelid. He's a little cockeyed now, but he's all right. Now when he watches porn, his fucking eyeball pops out. We go to the strip club, he's walking around and shit with an eyeball. And then we went to his family picnic. He got a beautiful girl cousin. I looked at him, his fucking eyeballs popped out. I said, you're a sick motherfucker, man. But, what else? 16 years we've been together. You know what the trick is? Communication. If your wife has a bad day at work and you're horny and she comes home, it's not fair. Babe, come on, let's fuck. It's not cool. She had a bad day at work. So I thought of this idea. Michelle, come here, lay down, honey. If you want to have sex with me, pull my penis twice. If you don't want to have sex with me, pull my penis 50 times. So, I grew up Hispanic. Growing up Hispanic is pretty traumatizing. How many got children? How many got children? Fuck your children right now, right? You're at the bar and shit. Fuck them. But if you got children, don't fight in front of your children. I was eating breakfast. I'm the oldest of 4. My dad came home drunk, all coked out and drunk. And he looks at my mom and he says, you're a fat ass mother of 4. I said, damn. My mom turned around and said, fuck you, you skinny ass father of 1. Nah, that's not funny. I don't know who my dad is now, motherfuckers. Obi, how old were you when you learned about your manhood?
10.
Yeah, me too. I was 10. My mom snitched on me. My dad came home. You tell that cabron. For you white folks, that's little fucker. You tell that cabron that he's been spending too much time in the bathroom. And my dad came home. He says, cabron, your mother said you've been spending too much time in the bathroom. You know you can go blind. I said, Dad, I'm over here. Oh shit. You know you can go blind. I remember. Do you remember, what's your name? Teresita.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first crush in grammar school, the boy? You do, right?
Kindergarten.
What was his name?
I can't remember his name, but I remember the boy.
Fuck whoever that kid is. Mine was Sylvia Orozco. Fucking bitch. She had a patch in one eye, and the other eye was cross-sided, but I loved her. I don't fuck with her. That's my girl. And then she called me. She said, Cricket, meet me at the bowling alley. I said, okay. She said, Cricket, sit down. I said, okay. She said, I don't want to see you anymore. So I covered her good eye. I found out the bitch was seeing somebody on the side all the time. Growing up in Pilsen, a little village. Yeah. My mom smoked weed, man, all my life. She's 82, babe. She's 80. She still smokes weed. I remember in first grade, at Hammond School, we're lined up and the teacher's like, good morning. Good morning. oh no. She says, you got to go to the principal's office. So I go to the principal's office, and she says, we're going to call your mother. I said, for what? She said, you smell like weed. I said, good, tell her to fucking stop, man. We were in a roach-infested house. Because she used to leave the roaches all over the house. You know the fuck? My mom. How many like football? We got football fans, Bears. You know what I like? In the 2026, the women are involved in football now. Nothing's more enjoyable than men with your woman is doing football. That's your girlfriend? You're very demanding, aren't you? Do you like to win at everything? My wife likes to win at everything. She never hates, she hates to lose. So one day we were laying in bed, naked, and I blow a fart. She says, what the fuck was that? I said, babe, this is fart football. That's a touchdown. My wife hates to lose. So she goes to blow a fart. She blows a little one. Beep. I said, that's a field goal. I'm finally going to beat my wife. So I pushed real hard. I shitted the bed. She said, what the fuck is that? I said, halftime, switch sides, you know? Yeah. How many got Apple iPhone? Apple and the iPhones? You got the, oh man, you're good. I just switched over from an Android to an iPhone, and I fucked up. I tried to put the earplug in the wrong hole, and Siri yelled at me. She said, stop, I don't do that. I told her just the tip. No, just kidding. But, how many you were talking about the Mobile, Alabama. Who knows about Mobile, Alabama? I was in Mobile, Alabama. Babe, how long we been together? 16. This happened 17 years ago. I was at a diner, and I asked the waitress, where can a guy get a piece of ass? He says, you're going to go across the street. I said, okay. So I'm eating my noodle soup. As I'm eating my soup, I find a hair in my soup. I tell her, I'm not paying for this shit. And I left. I went across the street. That waitress must have followed me, because I'm going down on this girl, and there's a tap on my shoulder, and I look, and it's the waitress. She says, hey, you did not pay for your soup, because there's a hair in your soup. And here I catch you with a mouthful. I said, if I find a noodle in this shit, I'm not paying for this either. So, I was driving a truck near Montana, and as I'm driving there, I see this poor bastard. He was naked, with his hands tied to his ankles on the side of the road. And there's nothing around him. What the fuck? So I pulled over, and I said, what's your name? He says, Harry. I said, Harry, what the fuck happened? He says, oh my God, it was horrible. I was driving. I picked up this hitchhiker. He robbed me, took all my money, took all my clothes, took my truck, tied my hands to my ankles. And it took me an hour to hop to the road like this. I said, by God, Harry, this just ain't your day. Just kidding. That's horrible. That's a new one. I was just testing it. Yeah. I'm going to finish off with this one. So my wife's 16 years together, and the trick is communication, like I said. But we do role playing every month. I think to spice up your relationship, you guys need to do role playing. So I come home from work, and my wife says, babe, today's role playing day. I said, fuck yeah. She says, go get dressed. I said, fuck yeah. So I go in the room. I come out. She's on the bed. High heels, the netted stockings, the garter, the matching underwear, the brassiere. She's fucking looking hot. I'm in a fucking koala bear outfit and shit. But I go down on her for about 10 minutes. And I finish. I said, babe, thank you. I'm going to go to the bar. You remember, right? So she says, what are you talking about? I go, what? She puts her hand on her. She says, I'm a prostitute. And she thinks she was going to get some money. I said, what's a prostitute? She says, Cricket, you're stupid, man. And she gets the dictionary. She opens it up. She says, prostitute, woman who does sexual favors for money. I said, I'm a koala bear. Look, koala bear eats bushes and leaves. You guys are a fun crowd. Fuck, I think I'll fuck up a funeral here. My wife, we go shopping, groceries. I'm impatient. My wife hates. You like when you go shopping with you? Does he go shopping with you? Yeah. My wife hates it because I'm impatient. This motherfucker we can shop for an hour, get to the park, get to the jewels, and when she knows she's laughing. If you hear the Wizard of Oz, that's her. Yeah, I'll get you, my pretty. We finished. I'm like, shit. Finally, we're gonna go. No, wait. She's fucking looking at the receipts. Fucking, they took 35 cents from me. Fuckers. And she got to go to customer service. I said, here's the fucking 35 cents. Let's go to fucking out of here. No. Anyways, I am Cricket. Chris Sandoval on Facebook. Follow me. You guys are a gem. Thank you, guys.
Give it up for Cricket one more time, guys. Hope you guys have fun tonight. You guys enjoy yourselves? All right. Thank you, Karolinka, for having us. Thank you, Tim Watson, for having us here. And you guys have a good night.
No, I got the right car, but I left the chips in the back seat of my car.
Oh, you left that.
I gotta get the other fix.
Can all the comics come to the stage so we can take a picture, please?
All the comments.
If you find anything, I'm not responsible.
So there's an accordion show at 10. So get ready for that, guys.
It's kind of dark over there. I can't see it. Can you? Yeah. Yeah. Get out of the shadows. Yeah. I'll send them all to you.
All right, take care. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Bye. Oh, no, it's on.
nice
I
to
love
meet
this
you.
show.
Oh,
I adore it.
thanks so much.
Nice to see you. What was that, Cricket?
I missed hearing your voice. You know, Marianne, our young maid, she describes, she says, it's like when you hear a friend's jokes, you have to that's a little more. So that's, it made me very happy. Yes, yes, I forgot about
That was like 15 minutes after.
You know what? We should have you all get lunch. They get lunch. I live like in Fort Park. You know what? Yes, that's exactly where I live. Yeah, that's exactly where I live. So, right near O'Donnell, where that mic is. I think the venue. They were doing it. You know, yeah, it looks awesome. They've redone it. So now they're doing all the and all that stuff there. But I'm really, I mean, hey, it looks great. They've redone it and it's awesome. So.
And it's 3 floors.
Those stairs, I was there on Sunday, but those stairs are a fly.
I think it's good for me. I need all
No, me too. I can use reinforcing up on the stairs. Thank you so much. I love you. Oh, yeah. I'm not going back to the park. It'll be a fun day. Anyway,
There were actually quite good.
Okay, it'll be about 60, 80 bucks. I think, oh, it is what it is. This guy still don't know. He's got all over his but I somehow trusted him. I liked him. I was so about that. So he said, he's doing interpreters. You're going to have to get well at home. I know, well, actually, yeah, I do that somewhere. Well, I have a lot of I'm glad to see you, though. What is that? The dirty parts. I like the waste.
Makes sense.
But I think I'm happy I waited longer because that AI, like I can make those pictures. Maybe that's the lights. Probably good. I'll short a little bit. Oh no, I mean, but no, I definitely want to.
Oh, seriously? I don't know. It seemed like they were doing it because this is when they were shooting.
I think there's always got a roadblock on these laws.
Oh, I don't change things.
Serial killer and all his paintings where his guy just Oh, that's so brilliant. Grandma's watching sunset. Grandma's watching
But I got it. I'm just saying that good stuff. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'll stick around and you watch the I don't know. Hang out when you get whatever chance to get finished.
But you know, if you want to do like a sound check.
Well, it's gonna start pretty soon. What I thought was that I call you when she started doing the EFP. So I will do that so you can hear it, okay? Okay, good deal. I'll call back in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Look, I'm usually like, hell, I don't know enough to know. You know, microphones aren't. I'm serious about it. Yeah. Yeah, you just feel like this, I don't know what to do. There's a lot of difference in, like, there's a big range of sound, like of loudness for me. So I just need the possibility of getting like closer and farther. So I think that maybe it's because sometimes I do a little classical and sometimes I don't, and it's complicated. But I think that if I can just do that, yeah. Yep.
I want my passion. Grass. Yeah, I know.